Someone who is very familiar with this situation is Mansour Shouman, a Palestinian journalist and also a humanitarian worker who did live in Gaza until March of last year, joining us live now from Kuala Lumpur. When you see these photos taken by the journalists killed and the images that are coming every day out of Gaza, you're miles away from there now, but I'm sure it brings back a lot of memories of how horrific it's been for you, for journalists, for people in Gaza when you were last there.
First, my condolences to you, Sarah, and the Al Jazeera team and journalists all over the world. Around 250 journalists in Gaza have been killed. We aren't even counted those who are injured, their families. Around 500 civil defense workers have been killed or injured since the start of this genocide. I myself was in Nasser Hospital for 5 months. I was a colleague of these journalists. I used to stand on these stairs trying to get a signal, a Wi-Fi signal, so that I can send my photos, my videos, do my live interviews. It's not the first time that Israelis have targeted the journalists at these stairs. They did that before through quadcopters, through snipers. They targeted the reception at times through bombs. But for the first time now, we've all seen live how an Israeli bomb, the second time, struck down civilian journalists and civil defense workers live on camera. Again, last week, it was in the north of Gaza where they struck 5 Al Jazeera and other journalists. Now we are in the south, striking 5 other journalists, including another Al Jazeera photographer. These people are not merely numbers. Like Al Jazeera is doing now, we need to remember and show their work, show their pictures, show their videos, let the world know that their work mattered, and that despite them leaving us from this life, their work continued to live among us.
Of course, a reminder to everyone that journalism isn't a crime, but Israel seems to be committing crimes to silence journalists. You mentioned something quite interesting there. You said this isn't the first time it's attacked that very specific area, the stairs at the top of Nasser Hospital. We're just looking at those pictures now, but this time it was caught on camera. Now, Israel often doesn't respond to attacks like these unless it's smear campaigns, people like our own reporters. Do you think this is why a statement came out saying that it will look into it? I say that bearing in mind it doesn't usually amount to anything, their internal investigations.
Honestly, it's been now 2 years since the start of this genocide. The difference in this case is that their massacre was shown on camera, and that's why they're coming up with this nonsense message and statement. I have no comment to what they put out. This is a genocidal regime committing genocide live on camera, live on social media, unfiltered to the whole world. And we are still, for some reason, not able to act despite being in the 21st century, the century of human rights.
Mansour Shouman, can you talk to us about your personal experience trying to convey to the world what was happening during your time there? How were you able to move around, if at all? How were you able to do your job and also be human at the same time when you see things happening in front of you?
So honestly, Sarah, journalists in Gaza don't have time to reflect on their own well-being. Their goal is to get the message out to the world about what is happening in Gaza on the ground. And capturing the message through their photos, through their videos, is just half the mission. The second half is to get that message out. And they need a good signal, they need good Wi-Fi, they need an active eSIM with enough data. They need a place that is safe from Israelis targeting them. So every day, you have to say goodbye to your family, and you have to try and think that, okay, I'm going to do whatever I can to get the message out to the world. And these stairs, because of their elevation, because of where they are located in Nasser Hospital, and because there's an availability of electricity, because of generators feeding Nasser Hospital, this is one of the only areas in the south where we can receive and send video images and photos. I remember during some days there were snipers targeting us, and we had to like crawl on our knees up the stairs and hide behind the barriers of the stairs to ensure that we aren't targeted by these snipers. I remember at times I used to the quadcopters that were killing and injuring my fellow colleagues. We used to grab them by their feet and bring them inside from the stairs that they would be reporting from. These, like I said, we do not have time to reflect on the dangers. We just do what we can in a robotic manner because we want the world to know that we matter and that our stories matter, and we want action from the world. Right now, words are not enough. We need action. These people need action.
And as you were saying there, from the rooftops, just to try and get some form of any network. And that's because Israel has also targeted the network system in Gaza, preventing people being able to communicate easily. Mansour Shouman, a Palestinian journalist who lived in Gaza until March of last year, thanks very much for recounting really probably some very horrific memories that you have there for yourself, but to highlight the situation that journalists are under in Gaza.